Now, moving on to, the fun part. This part kind of matters a lot to me because it has to be right. It has to be right. And for me as an instrumentalist, like it does, matter a lot to me about how the drums and the bass, everything melts together. And so this drum is all in one group. Fantastic performance again. Like it's just, I think one thing that is very important to understand about mixing is that if you are getting good performances coming in, you are going to get something great coming out. That's why I keep emphasizing about enhancement. Oh my gosh. Because it's so important. So yeah, I'm just going to play a snippet of just some of the parts of the drums. This is the mix all together.
Shout hallelujah to the...
So I wanted to keep his performance very, very nice and tight. Shout out to Jesse. He knows what he done. He just knows what he done. Wanted to keep his performance nice and tight, make sure it was, all together. So this is what I normally use for my drums and everything there. This will get sent to a bus, and you realize that it's showing yellow here because I'm independently panning them even in the bus itself. So all of this kind of contributes towards the space and the size and where everything sits in the mix. So obviously when it goes to the bus here, which is my drum bus, very simple. I use a lot of plugins from Black Salt Audio. Oh, they're just doing crazy things over there. I don't even know how they come up with this stuff, but their noise gates on each of their plugins is just fantastic. You should definitely check them out. So Black Salt Audio, and they actually relatively, offer a good subscription plan. So it's actually generally good. And then Pro Q4 and then your SSLs, EV2. I feel like EV2 offers the best when it comes to tone. And then Telos also from Black Salt Audio, just to add that enhancement. So just to break it down, I typically have 3 kicks. I don't really have 2. So obviously you normally use to the kick in, the kick out, but I also have a kick in plus. So the kick in plus, I specifically add a clipper to it. And there's the one from BSA. Very simple, nothing much to it. And that just gives it a little bit more edge and punch and cuts through the mix a little bit more. Because when you got all of this going on, sometimes your kick can get lost and you really want to capture that click without making your kick too airy. Because if it's too airy, it just gets lost in the mix. So I use the kick out to sort of give us the foundation and the width, and then the kick in to give you the precise sort of hit. So, when you hear that all blended all together, yeah, he just knows what he's doing. Okay, so then sometimes my routing when it comes to buses, I take it a step further. So you can realize there that even on the bus, I'm routing that to another bus. So that's going into bus 5. And this is my kick and bass. So this is where things kind of glue together. Shout out to EC. The day he showed me this, it just opened my eyes, to be fair. And yeah, literally just have a saturator on there, just dialing back some of those frequencies and dynamics in this band here, where the kick and bass tend to clash. Even the bass is fantastic performance. Like, everybody just shelled it this day. So I'll play the bass as well. And I'm very picky about my bass, but I actually use some of Logic's plugins as well. So my bass chain, it's just got R comp going into Pro Q4. And I oftentimes, depending on the track, I oftentimes like to compress before I then shape in terms of the EQ and everything like that. I know some people do it the other way around. They like to EQ and then compress, but I'm more of a compress, like find the sweet spot of frequencies that you want to boost and then go in and mold it and shape it. So that then goes into a bass amp, and then it goes into JJP bass, which gives it a lot more of its character. And the bass has its own bus as well to spread it out, let it have room to breathe, but then also give it depth and low end focus as well. And bass, I'm a bit of a bass head, so sometimes I really had to be told to in the mix. But this is the bass. So the bass amp is it's practically responsible for picking out just those higher frequencies when he goes to, a higher octave. And that was really important because throughout the whole entire performance for both days, that was something that was a reoccurring thing. So I was just like, okay, cool, we need to mold it towards that as well. So it's just kind of also picking out what is best for the people that are playing as well. What brings out the tone, what are they trying to do, and how can I enhance that in the mix? You get, for every minstrel and instrumentist that plays an instrument, there's always an imagination and a sound that is fueling the way that they're playing. And so if you can bring that reality closer to them through a mixed record, then it just helps the whole entire performance. It helps that feel as well, because I think at the end of the day, anybody can look at what it looks like behind the scenes, but not many people understand all of this. More people understand what everything feels like. And so as a mix engineer, if you can replicate and enhance that feeling so that at the end of the day, when they're listening to the mix, everything's kind of tight and together and the memory's captured and it's sustained, it's given life, that's when you got a hit record. So keys, similar thing. Keys in terms of tightness, the whole mix is just pretty much tight. I did have a bit of a fear of making it a bit too thin, but it's just about keeping it tight. Obviously, keys 3 is probably my favorite, and probably a lot of your guys' favorite. Gonna play some of that. And they gel well together, the boys, so, it just made it so much easier. So I had to split the times he was playing the pad, the times he was playing the strings. Let's add in some bass. See, they're just locked in. They're just locked in. So there wasn't much to do in terms of editing and changing much to do with this. Same thing here. Sometimes when keyboards come through, you do get a bit of crackle, you do get a bit of noise. So I just have to sort that out, saturate it, boost it in some places, and that's given space. That's all of the live instruments, to be fair.